Jesse Rogers follows them carefully, and boy, we're not kidding. The Cubs are basically throwing up a white flag for 2021. Davies is not Ferguson Jenkins, and 4 lower-tier prospects to unload $60 million. Jesse, boy, the Cubs are basically taking a punting next year. Let me get your thoughts on that first. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of confusion and anger among Cub fans, Mad Dog, after this trade of their best player in 2020. Now, there's 2 ways to look at it. Look, this team is kind of stuck in the middle a little bit, even though they won their division last year. They've stalled a little bit, and their farm system isn't that deep. So, okay, maybe they do need to make a big trade like this. But they didn't get back, like the Yankees did with Gleyber Torres, ironically with the Cubs. They didn't get back that sure thing prospect that you can sort of hang your hat on for the next era of contending. Cub fans were expecting that for a guy of Yu Darvish's caliber. All right, so if you're not going to hear what you want to in terms of getting, let's say, Mackenzie Gore, the Padres' top prospect, Cub fans are like, well, maybe you should have pulled back on that trade and zigged when everyone else was zagging and, sign Bauer, sign Springer, retool. You have talent there with Baez and Rizzo and these guys. So there's no confusion and anger among, what exactly did we do here and when are we going to contend again? And I think it's rightful on the Cubs fans' part because, look, they have expiring contracts in Bryant and Rizzo and a few other guys, yet it's Darvish that gets traded. So the confusion is well warranted.
Well, he's 35 years of age. He's got $60 million coming to him. The Cubs are in the middle of a season when they got Chapman for Torres, trying to win a championship. It is somewhat different. Listen. Darvish has pitched well the last year and a half, so I do get that. Speaking of Bryant, what's up with him? Is he going to be there in spring training or not?
I think he will be. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think he was more likely to be on the opening day roster than Darvish at this point. It all goes towards what you can get. And maybe the Cubs got 80 cents on the dollar for Darvish. I think they're hearing more like 25 to 30 cents on the dollar for Bryant. 1 year to go, had some injuries. The market just isn't developing. So you let him go to spring training. Maybe you let him play the first half. He has some great first half. A third baseman goes down and you're able to get a better prospect or two then, meaning July, than now. They're obviously not hearing what they want to hear in the return for Chris Bryant. They'd love to keep that salary. That's the other part of this whole thing with Darvish and others. They're dumping salary.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a big part of it, no question. Do you think at the end of the day, Rizzo and Baez will be long-term Cubs?
I do. Those are the 2 I think will still be around. Baez, I think he was on the verge of signing before the pandemic hit. They'll pick those talks up again at some point. And Rizzo is like the Cubs captain. And look, left-handed power, that doesn't grow on trees. I think those 2 kind of lead you into the next era of contending. So, yes, I do believe that. But, look, I didn't think Darvish was going to be traded until a couple weeks ago. So anything is possible when you are retooling and dumping salary.
100%. The Cubs for 2021, this is a team in a bad division, so you never know, and there won't be a lot of expectations on them, which will probably help. Could they still win? Listen, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, St. Louis, nobody's done anything. This division's a disaster. Could the Cubs theoretically still make the playoffs?
Yes. I think the Cardinals will be the favorites, but the Cubs can, for what you just said. It's so strange how the AL Central and the NL Central have flipped in the span of 12 months. But the Cubs are stuck in between. Even if they win the division, the Braves and the Dodgers and the Padres, they are nowhere near those teams. Of course, anything can happen in October, Mad Dog, but you can't expect it. So whoever gets in from that division is going to be the underdog going into the playoffs.
And one last thing on Darvish. He does not have a good postseason history. He does crack better against the Marlins, but historically not good. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him in San Diego. It's a smaller market, not a ton of media, and the fan base isn't, New York City. How do you think he responds? Let me hear.
Well, he has to get comfortable. I do believe that. He finally got comfortable here. He won over a ton of fans, and then they shipped him out. So I don't know if he can pick up where he left off. He certainly is a different pitcher. He's healthy. He's more confident. He works slow, which he likes. If, let's say, the Padres say, hey, Tatis Machado say, hey, pick up the pace, he won't like that. So there will be some some time to get comfortable needed for him. But if he pitches like he's pitched, he'll be great. But don't expect it right off the bat. He's a guy that needs to feel comfortable in his situation. It took some time here in Chicago.
Well done, Jesse. As always, you've been a good spot forever. Keep up the good work. Happy New Year. Appreciate you coming on.
You too, Chris. Take care.